Yeah, here we are, another episode of Reloading Room Confessions with
Gavin Gear from Ultimate Reloader.
Now, I'm just going to warn you, this is going to be the most just absurdly insane episode we've ever done. I haven't even taken a walk through everything here. I don't even know what to say about this room because I'm just speechless. Like, I'm a gear guy. I love reloading gear. And I'm just shaking in here because this is, this is the pinnacle of a toy room.
Yes.
Why don't you just give me, we'll go to some of our normal questions.
Sure.
But I think we're going to have to deviate a little here. Just give me the 2-cent tour on at least what's in this room right now as we sit here.
So before we even get into that, this is kind of the storage and then once in a while reloading area. We've got the main bench where we set up for videos. And then in the back, we've got the mega reloader area with all of the, Mark 7 equipment, the new Mark 7, Frankfurt Arsenal X10.
Yeah.
All the 10 station stuff is down there. Okay.
Nice.
So this was the original mountain studio for Ultimate Reloader. Originally, we bought this cabin up here. We've got the 55 acres, and I kind of built this shipping container out to be a studio and a storage area. Now it's a part of a shop that's got 2 containers. It's got the main shop area and various extensions to it. But this was the original bench that I had at my city home. Please excuse the mess. We've got a lot of different projects that we're switching between here. It's difficult to reload in here because we've got so much stuff that we're storing. And this rack here, this is what I built for the single stage reloading press shootout. And so we did 14 different reloading presses in that video, and now it's got all this inline fabrication storage. So just to name a few of them here, or all of them. Dylan BL550 basic loader. You use a funnel on this one.
Yep, I used one of those for quite a while.
Yeah. Pretty cool system if you don't want to pay for, powder measure and priming. This is the lock and load iron from Hornady. It's got the quick load bushing on it. This is the Lee Challenger, I think.
Yeah. Another breech loader.
Yep.
Yeah.
RCBS Supreme.
Okay.
Rock Chucker Supreme. The Lyman All American 8. I'm going to go back over here.
Yep.
Pro 1000. Prezi Press. This is made in Germany. Total overkill. 3 linear bearings on it. Bronze bushing. Kind of the ultimate single stage press. The Frankfurt Arsenal M Press RCBS Summit.
Yeah, I actually like this Summit. I think it's a weirdly underrated press for what a lot of people do.
Yep.
Especially the way that you can mount it on things that don't require, like if you don't have room to have a hangover. Yep. It's really great for that.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the classic cast iron single stage or the 50 BMG. They're the same, actually. Lyman Victory. We've got the Lee Loadmaster. We've got, this is a Dylan Square DLB, Dylan RL550C, XL750. This is...
I didn't even see these.
RCBS Rebel. Oh, this is the Pro 1000. The one I was showing you before is the Auto Breech Lock Pro, which is their 4-station. RCBS, or excuse me, Hornady Classic Single Stage.
Yeah, way over in the corner there.
Yeah. This is the Pro Checker 7, the old Pro 2000, Pro Checker 5. These are both lock and load APs. And we've got the RCBS turret, Lyman Ideal. Yeah, just a few things. This is the partner press from RCBS.
Is that a 650 in the corner?
That's a 650. Yeah. Yep. Ran out of room for that. We're going to resurrect that and use that for some stuff.
And we're not even going to talk about, just look at the dies. The bullets.
My friend's kid calls this the store. all the bullets and that kind of stuff. Okay, here we have the CP2000 case processor from Dylan Automation DA3000 auto drive.
And that's the one that just came out. Was it last year?
Yeah, the DA3000.
So it's brand new.
Yep. And this is the RL1100. We've got a XL750 over there. Should we go to the back room?
And then we got a Zero Press.
Oh yeah,
of course. We got the Zero Press here.
Yeah, Area 419.
Yeah. I'm partial only because that's what I use.
Cool. Yeah, these are great.
Yeah, we'll come back to some of the other stuff in this room. What's sitting on the ground over here? Looks
That
like
is a machine that is going to be reserviced.
okay.
Yes.
Okay. So let's head over to the rest of the machines. So this is, when you want to reload on a different press every day of the month.
Forster coax.
Oh, we got a coax.
Yep.
I think probably still one of the best bangs for the buck.
Oh, yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah.
Down in the corner, we've got, what is this one? This one's got...
You're finding all sorts of stuff. Redding T7 with an adaptive head from Creedmoor Sport.
Yep, so that's that new adaptive head.
Check this out. This is so cool.
And that allows you to utilize different sized thread dies all in the same turret head, right?
1.25 inches.
Yeah.
And then you can get these wedges with the 7/8 on them. So with the same head, you can run both size dies, which is really nice.
That's very cool.
Yep.
Very cool. Okay. So these are the big guns in here.
Yeah. Evolution.
Okay.
So this is a press as currently torn down because I stole a tool head for my Apex 10.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, and here's another tool head for that here. This is the Frankfurt Arsenal X10, the new 10 station, which is kind of causing a disruption. A lot of bang for the buck on that one.
Yeah.
And then we have the Apex 10 here with the computerized auto drive. It's got decap sense, bullet sense, primer, sensor, just kind of all the automation, as it were.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Just absolute crazy. So, I think a lot of people obviously know you a lot more than they know me. They've watched your channels for a long time. How long have you been actually shooting?
Since I was a kid, I'm going to say it was about 1983 or 2.
Yeah. Do you remember the first gun you actually bought?
Yeah, I got
yourself?
my dad's Ruger 1022. I remember it was Western Washington, probably a lot like Oregon, kind of foggy out in the woods, moss all around, and we set up a orange juice concentrate can. And I remember getting squared up behind the Ruger 1022, laying down kind of prone style on the ground, and wow, feel the recoil. This isn't a BB gun. This is a real
gun. Yeah.
And that's what started it all.
That's pretty crazy. What was like the first gun? Because obviously you probably shot for quite a while before you started doing the videos and stuff like that. Like what was the first gun that you kind of maybe like saved up for, or said, like my goal is to have an XYZ because I want to do what?
Probably the SKS and the AK. I got a Mac 90. It's like early college days. Of course, we wanted to go up in the woods and blow stuff up, so.
I think that's perfectly reasonable. I appreciate that you are man enough to admit that a Mac 90 was one of your first guns.
Yeah, really. I mean, I don't have that one anymore.
Yeah, well, you prefer guns that function properly.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, well, we're going to head back into the other reloading room here. I think we got a few more things that we can talk about. So while we're going over here, what's kind of, obviously you do a lot of content, you do a lot of shooting, and you do a lot of content-driven shooting. Yeah. But for pure pleasure, if somebody said, hey, look, don't worry, nothing's going to change in your life. You can take a month off and go shoot in XYZ discipline. What would you go spend the next month just having fun and truly relaxing?
It's not the right season, but the first thing that came to mind was rock chucks.
Rock chucks, okay.
Yep.
Okay, hey, that's a discipline.
Yeah, I mean, that's just fun. We do it around here. And then also, I mean, there's so many things, actually. I think NRL 22 would be one of them.
Yeah.
To go and do. NRL Hunter. Potentially PRS. I am curious about F-Class. We were just talking about that with Eric Cortina.
Yeah, we're going to try to get Gavin out to a couple of our F-Class matches. So you're building, we were talking about it on another video, but you're building a gun based around the new, who's making the new stocks?
Well, I'm hoping to do the new Wooks chassis.
Wooks F-Class?
I just met them at the SHOT Show, and I don't even have all the product info yet. I thought that would be a cool thing to look at.
Yeah.
And open to suggestions.
That would be pretty cool. Okay, so we obviously have a lot of stuff in here. You've got a couple different powder throwers. I see you've got a auto trickler V4. You've got a super trickler over here. Yep. Gavin and I are actually on the beta program for the super trickler, and I think we probably were both on the beta test one way or another for the V4 as well.
Actually, Cambridge just got me this.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, Cambridge. I get all my scales through them, and they wanted to see kind of what I thought of the V4. I have the V3 as well.
Yeah.
So I wanted to compare those. Yeah.
And any number of powder scales and dispensers up here, of course.
Don't look too close. It's not up to my cleanliness standards in here.
It's good from far from good.
Yeah.
So again, maybe not so much for content, but for personal, if you're loading for an NRL hunting match or something, something that you'd go out and do, for actual fun, what's sort of your non-negotiables for components? Do you have certain components you go to, or that you wouldn't be caught dead without?
Yeah, I tend to focus on the bullet, because I've found in the custom rifles that I've built, sometimes there's one bullet that's strongly preferred over another. So that kind of guides my load development philosophy as well. Try a few different bullets, find one that the gun likes, and then really good quality brass. I'm not as picky about primers. And then, powder that I know I can get good load data for, and it's going to, depending on the circumstances, be temperature stable,
Yeah.
So it's kind of a, per application formula, I guess.
Yeah, and I guess that makes more sense, because a lot of times when I'm talking to somebody, they're in a particular discipline, like in F class, it's pretty much all Lapua brass, burger bullets, stuff like that. And so it's really interesting to step outside of that and see, really how much that can change. And that makes sense with the custom rifles. So you pretty much tell somebody, if you build a rifle and you find a rifle, if it shoots, whatever it is, Hornady, Sierras, Burgers, that sort of becomes the non-negotiable for that rifle then. Like, why hunt anymore, right?
Well, yeah, and when we build rifles, we look for good loads that are going to work with our prototype unit, the one that we build for the channel. And then our goal is to use that known formula to do testing with the rifles and to confirm.
Okay. I know this one's a loaded question because, again, what you do for a living, but do you shoot to reload? I ask everybody this. Do you shoot to reload, or do you reload to shoot? And I'm guessing it's probably totally different than any of that.
I shoot to reload, and I reload to shoot.
And you do both largely for content, right? I mean,
and for fun.
And for fun.
Some of the reloading that we've been doing lately is for machine guns.
Okay.
And obviously that's a good way to throw away ammo in a hurry. So,
You bust out the single stage for that?
Not quite. We try not to. Yeah.
How many rounds? I'm just curious now. What do you guys go through in a day when you're having fun out there with that?
Oh, we haven't had enough ammo to have fun all day, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
The way it works around here is we've got so many bullets to test, so many presses to test, that we'll tend to do small batches of ammo for a video, and we'll shoot it just enough to, test it in the rifle. And then the goal is always to load a whole bunch so we can have fun later, but it rarely happens.
Rarely happens. All right.
Goals for this year.
That's fair. When it comes to actual reloading for yourself, is there a favorite process? Is there something, whether it's dropping powder, turning necks, seating primers, where you really get the most enjoyment? You kind of go, hey, this was really what...
Seating bullets.
Seating bullets?
No question.
Yeah? Yeah, what part of it? Just the feeling it go in? And
it's the press kind of glides. You get that sense of a finished product as you're taking the cartridges out of the press. To me, and it feels a little bit more elegant and less crude than sizing, for instance.
Because it really is the last thing you're going to touch when you do it.
Yeah,
that makes sense. All right, least favorite?
Brass prep.
Brass prep.
And probably some of the nasty military brass. We still haven't quite come up with a formula for swaging that we're happy with across multiple head stamps for military 223 or military 762x51. So we're looking at, well, what do we need to do? Do we need to ream them all? I don't know. I'd love your input.
Yeah, that's a good one. I remember I had a little bit of brass that I had to swage, and I think I did 50, and I went, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah,
that was all I could do.
Best done on press.
Yeah, best done on press is right. Yeah, I had this weird little adapter that went on the Dillon on my 550 or 650. It made it a lot easier, but I still didn't. Still wasn't my favorite thing to do. All right, best tool that you wouldn't be caught dead without. So, I mean, obviously you have access, probably more than most people, to just about any tool that you wish. But if I was going to tell you that we were just going to tear this whole thing down, you can only keep one reloading tool, what would it be?
Man.
I know, I'm putting you on the spot here.
Yeah, I mean, you can't reload ammo with just one tool, so that is...
Well, I guess it's usually in the vein of like, you can buy different powder dispensers, different primers, different, but like within a particular aspect of reloading, is there one particular tool that you're like, I just would never replace it?
So I'm going to interpret the question slightly different.
Okay.
I would say if I could only use one reloading press for everything, I would probably use the 550.
That's a good
just
answer.
Because I can do the bulk pistol stuff on there, and it has pretty good precision for rifle stuff.
Okay.
And I could attach all my sundries and case lube to it and just pretend that's all one unit.
Yeah.
Game the system on your question.
Yeah, I think that's actually a really good answer, because especially with so many different presses, I think it's easy to say, well, like what would you really boil down to? And I think the 550 is probably a great choice.
Yeah.
Best tool or process, probably in this case, we're probably talking more process, but in terms of reloading, what process did you ultimately find that you reloaded and you went, or you removed and you went, man, I'm really glad I don't have to do that anymore? Is there anything?
Case prep.
We're back to that. All right, that's fair. Yeah.
New brass, I've had really good results with new brass, and then if you're shooting it in a custom rifle, it doesn't go very far in terms of having to resize it, and you kind of have a good starting point. So yeah, range pickup brass gone out the door.
Yeah, I think we all have. If you've ever reloaded, you have some sort of a memory or horror story with range pickup. Yeah, for sure. I think that was the first time I ever stuck a piece of brass.
Or the Russian dolls, right? Your 380 that's sitting inside the 9, which is sitting inside the 4.
Yeah, exactly. Process, you've obviously come across a lot of tools. Was there a process that you struggled with, and then a tool you finally went, oh man, like this tool finally solved this problem?
Yeah, I think it's the amp annealer.
Okay.
And it has to do with brass and spring back and consistent neck tension and consistent shoulder bump for precision rifle. That's one answer.
I think that's a good one. I think that was a big game changer across the board for people. First, we're going to get away from the gear here and talk about in shooting, kind of what was your first big achievement, whether it was, hunting, matches, just for fun?
My own rifle that I built on my own lathe.
Oh.
That's that first round. You never forget that. It's kind of like my first reloaded ammunition. I loaded 44 mag. That was my first thing. And I remember I had this really not high quality Taurus revolver, and I remember firing it and just thinking, wow, I didn't die, right? That thrill of I didn't die. And then the gun broke in the first cylinder of ammo.
One of the older Tauruses, huh?
Yeah. Early 2000s kind of thing, yeah.
It's funny. I don't think I've ever talked about that in any of the videos, but there really is sort of that, what am I doing when I pull the trigger on the first time you ever reload something?
Yes.
It's such an incredible leap of faith.
It is.
I can only imagine the same thing happens on even a higher scale when you build a gun start to finish.
Yeah. Are my clearances correct? The end play, is everything mating up properly? Did I cut the chamber right? Yeah, there's a lot of things that you just think, okay, here we go.
Yeah, and I think, it's fine. Like, I don't know why, but that just sort of was an aha moment, because you think it's one of the things we take so for granted when we drop off gear at a gunsmith and say, build it for us. Like, I just know or assume that my gunsmith knows what he's doing, and I trust, because I've seen his work, that when I screw on a barrel or I put together a gun, it's going to function, and that trust is massive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so first you had to build trust with yourself.
Yep.
What's the next big achievement you're aiming for in the shooting industry or world?
Wow. Next big achievement. So I'm building the ammo, I'm building the rifles. I think a couple things come to mind. On the gunsmithing side, I think it's definitely finishing my manual machining thing and then transitioning to CNC machines for ultra precision barrel work. And then on the shooting side, I definitely want to shoot F-class and bench rest, because I feel like those are the folks that are most discerning, most exacting. And to learn from those people, you can take really high quality information and propagate that down to more casual scenarios, but you don't want to go the other way around. So yeah, hanging out with folks like you and shooting,
I appreciate that. I'm sure when you go out, especially you go to matches, shows, stuff like that, people are always hitting you up for stuff. What's sort of your I know you get a lot of questions, but if it's up to you and somebody goes, hey, I just want to talk, what's sort of your favorite reloading thing to share with people in general, like when you're talking with them?
Probably to do it. Because a lot of people, like at the SHOT Show this year, a lot of people came up to me and said, hey, I've been watching your channel. I just got interested in reloading, and you helped me decide I'm almost ready to buy the stuff or, whatever that is. And I like to encourage people to take the leap, to do it. It's not as hard as you think. If you want to start on a progressive press, go for it. It'll take you a little bit longer if you're mechanically minded. Just do it because you'll have the thrill then, right?
Yeah.
Of firing that round for the first time and hoping that you don't die.
Yeah. Yeah. How often do you get the question, so how much money do you save reloading?
That does not... there's always the debate around that. And initially, I really did save money reloading.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about my first reloading setup. I had the crappy Taurus revolver. I had a Lee Pro 1000 3-stage press that I paid $124 from Midway for. And I was so cheap I didn't even buy case lube. I stole my wife's Lemon Pledge, which works really nicely actually for pistol. And at the time, I think a box of 44 mag was like 18 to 25 bucks or something like that in the good old days. Well, I figured I could reload it for $6 a box. And I was shooting a couple boxes a week at the range, so it totally made sense. This was that time of life when you've got 2 young kids at home, and just bought a house a couple years prior to that, and it's like, there's not a whole lot of extra money to go around. So I started that way, but that just started a snowball of ridiculosity that, that is a bit insane.
Yeah, no, I bet. Again, I know you get more than the average amount of questions. Mm-hmm. What process do you think people overthink too much in the reloading world?
Wow. I was just talking with Brian Litz about this. We were talking about what is the true precision of a rifle. Like people typically say accuracy, and they really mean precision, right? And how do you evaluate that? And when you get down to it and you adjust your expectations to things that are more realistic, more of the factors that you might have thought are really important and you chase your tail around are literally not. If you've got a good bullet, good piece of brass, and a good barrel, right? That's gonna eliminate a lot of the trouble. And then, I see people overthinking things like, cleaning primer pockets or uniforming the flash hole or all this stuff, and it's like, until you get, it's like a PRS match. The wind is this much of a variable. Loading on a single stage versus a progressive is this much of a variable. Yeah. So where should you spend your time? Training with the wind coach, right?
Yeah.
And trigger time with the rifle, getting your dope card down, getting your process down, muscle memory, that kind of stuff. And the reloading is important, and I think in a PRS match it's more about reliability. The reliability of the actual load. I was over pressuring in a high 95 degree day at one point, right?
That's not fun.
Should have focused on that. But a couple thousandths of bullet run out, in that particular scenario, probably not the place to focus. So I'm trying to adjust my expectations and also align to proper priorities when I think about getting performance out of a load or a rifle or whatever.
No, I like that. What's the best advice you've ever gotten in the reloading or shooting world?
Wow.
And I'm sure you've heard a lot being in your line of work here.
Yeah. I think it amounts to some of these discussions that I've had with Brian Litz, to be honest, about adjusting the expectations and then just focusing on the factors that matter the most, and then not chasing your tail on the other stuff.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes total sense. All right, last thing. In the entirety of reloading, whether it's turning necks or, primer depth or whatever, what is the one question, if you had a magic 8-ball that would tell you exactly the right thing to do in the reloading world, what would it be?
Yeah, I think this comes to some of the load development semantics around how do you fast track to an optimal formula. You know, there's so many different variables, whether it be the case, the primer, the type of powder, the powder charge, you know, the bullet seating depth. How can we look at that entire set of variables and focus on fast tracking to a good solid load for that rifle? Because as you know, you can spend a week chasing your tail or just doing legitimate research.
Yeah. And
it's time consuming, it's expensive, and ultimately I'd rather do more load developments than less. So
no, I think that's a great answer there. So, well, hey, I know you're a busy guy. We appreciate the opportunity just coming up here, being able to do a reloading room confession with Gavin Gear, and remind people where they can find you.
UltimateReloader.com, GavinTube on YouTube, or just search Ultimate Reloader and you'll find all the stuff.
Yeah, and you'll find his links down below. If I'm going to assume everybody who watches my channel already watches him, but if you don't, down in my description you'll find links to his YouTube channel. So, Gavin, thanks for having us here in your shop, and we'll talk to you later.
See y'all.